Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome into the Fullmetal Alchemist starter deck breakdown. I can't believe it. We are officially, as of making this video, 2 weeks away from the launch of Fullmetal Alchemist. We've officially got the English version of the starter deck uploaded on the Union Arena website, so I figured we'd make a video breaking down the starter deck, building up some hype for the sets. I believe literally like tomorrow or the day after, we're going to start getting the rest of the sets, and I'll start uploading those breakdowns, and we can officially start diving into Fullmetal Alchemist. But yeah, if you don't know, July 25th, it officially drops. Make sure you guys are signed up for the release events that I gave you all a heads up for, which is going to be starting, I believe, next week. And then, yeah, 2 weeks until the official launch of Fullmetal Alchemist. Yeah, the set's looking really good. Fun fact about this set, if you don't know, it did release in Japan only a few months ago, so it's a pretty strong set compared to others, whereas a lot of the other sets we're getting, they're about a year old. So I would say just in general where the power level's at, because it dropped in Japan for that meta as well. I imagine the power level is pretty high up there for this. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It should be a pretty strong set. But yeah, with that said, I'm excited about this. Fullmetal Alchemist is just peak anime. So yeah, this is going to be sick. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Drop a like to let me know if you do. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this breakdown. With this deck in particular, looks like we're going to be using a lot of effects to essentially use the effects of our Alphons to play more Edwards or vice versa, or yeah, essentially just trade out equivalent exchange literal parts of our Edward and or Alphons cards for the other character. It's really, really cool. They do a great job of it. So essentially it's the Brothers deck, completely based around them too, and I'm sure the yellow full set will have a lot of nice additions for this. So yeah, taking a look at the big raid card here, this Edward Elric card. This is going to be a great card. I love how this is already looking. So he's a 4-cost raid. He has impact all the time. However, his when played is going to be really interesting. So you may perform, look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 character or sight among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining at the bottom, and then if you did use this effect, even if you did whiff on the search, you have to place the base card of this rated character into your sideline. So yeah, you're essentially taking part of this Edward card that makes him a raid, so you're taking him you're making him an active 4K now, and exchanging him out for hopefully an Alphons or some sort of character from the top of your deck. I believe there's also going to be this card, this sight card, the Gate of Truth, which is where the sight part of this is pretty much tied to. Yeah, so really, really cool. You can use this Edward to take parts of himself to, yeah, get cards from this the top 6 cards of your deck, and hopefully not whiff. There's a good chance you're not whiffing. You should better not. There's no way you do, because you take any character. So, and as you'll see with other cards in this deck, you're actually able to take your Edwards from your sideline and place them under this card. So in general, unrating this card isn't even that could even benefit you later on because of how these effects work out, as you'll see. But yeah, he's got the raid trigger, so you can raid him from life, and then the 4K BP. So yeah, really, really, really nice card here. And then the other SR in this set that's going to play great alongside him, this 3-cost Alphons. When played, if this character is played with one of your abilities, you get to straight up draw a card. And as you'll see, there's an event card in this deck, as well as I think another card or two that allow you to play him with abilities. And then I'm sure, again, the main set's going to have a lot of cards that play into these, so keep that in mind. So yeah, you're trying to play him with an effect so you can get a draw. And then active main, you can place 2 cards from your hand to the sideline once per turn. You switch him to active, and then he also becomes a 4K till the end of the turn, gaining 500. So great card here. He's also got the 3K defensive active trigger. If you get that out of life, 3,500 printed BP. So hopefully he's not an easy target for your opponent. But again, he's only a 3 cost, so he's not that costly to have in your deck at all. And then just with these 2 cards here, as well as a few others in this deck, you're going to see that this deck plays very rush heavy and is just overall really, really nice. Draw power, rushing, it's going to be really nice. Set to actives and stuff on your turn. And then one of the big event cards in this starter deck that I'm assuming is going to be a starter deck exclusive, as well as the other 2s we just covered. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. This is going to be a 2-cost Let's Go Home event card. So this card allows you to add 1 Edward or Alphons from your sideline to your hand, and then you get to play an Edward or an Alphons with the required fulfilled energy, like you have it generating, and 1 AP from your hand set to resting on your field, or you can even raid with it. So yeah, you can take your raid Edward from your sideline after he's been removed or something, and you can re-raid with him. Or yeah, you could play your Alphonse with this effect as well, get the draw effect. Really, really cool. I'd say the big downfall to this card is that you don't have a trigger at all, which is always unfortunate to see. But again, really, really good card here. This is not a bad one at all. Allows you to play from your sideline very nicely. Some other really, really cool cards in this deck. We've got a 1-cost Alphonse here. So he has an active main, switch to resting, sideline this card, and then you get to place one Edward Elric without raid from your sideline face up underneath a non-rated Edward Elric with raid on your front line. Then if you do, you switch that character to active. So what's really cool about this effect is essentially what you're doing with this Edward, which I love to see, is pretty much saving your impacts for late game, using this when played ability and then being able to re-raid this card. It's so fascinating. It's going to be a really cool deck, and I'm already really excited for it. And this is just the starter deck, so seeing all the cards that were going to be added to this are going to be so cool. But yeah, so you can re-raid your Edward Elrics, essentially. I really like the switch to active part too, so that if you don't have a way to raid him this turn, you can essentially just play him rested from your hand, and then you could use that ability, and now he's a raid card. You're not going to get the when played ability, I don't think. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. I imagine the when played abilities are not going to trigger. That would not make any sense at all. But I imagine it's going to be a question that's brought up, because you're not playing the rated card, right? You're just switching him to active. But regardless, yeah, really cool. I think the overall goal with it, the overall point, is to have late game impacts without much worry. And again, this is a 1-cost Alphonse, so it's going to be nice to just have him in the deck, play him on the bench, have him generating energy until late game when he's really ready to come into play. Just keep in mind, you have to switch him to resting, so you're going to have to set him up as early as possible. But yeah, he's also got the active 3k defensive trigger, 2500 BP. Fantastic card. And then, man, with all these active triggers, I'm really hoping we have a double blocker in yellow for this deck. Because if you can hit that active on a defensive turn with the double blocker, ooh, 7k, 8k double block, so good. The other Alphonse that we're going to be getting in this deck is just going to be a 3-cost Nullify Impact, 3500 printed BP though, again with the active 3k defensive trigger. Great looking card all around. This is not a raid Alphonse, keep in mind, so you don't have to run a bunch of these, but yeah, could be a nice card to have in the deck. We've also got a pretty strong Edward Elric card here. He doesn't have a trigger, which is unfortunate, but he is a really good card. So 3-cost, double energy generator. When played, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Place any number of them on the top of your deck in any order, then place the remaining cards into your sideline. So 3k printed BP, pretty good. So yeah, what's really cool about this card is you can essentially use his ability to maybe put this card into your sideline if you don't have a way to draw him. And then you can use this card to put him into your hand. Crazy stuff, man, crazy stuff. So just the starter deck is already looking really, really cool. If you don't know, yellow has one of the best color triggers in this game. So this starter deck, all the starter decks usually don't come with color triggers. So once you add whatever the yellow color trigger is to this, oh man, this deck's gonna be so awesome. Some other really, really strong cards to mention are going to be this Izumi card here. I really like her. If only she had a trigger, but still really good effects. So 4-cost during your turn, she is a 4k, gains 500 BP. And then active main, if on the front line, you sideline 1 card from your hand once per turn. You get to choose an Edward or an Alphonse on your field and switch it to active. So yeah, you can use her ability to play cards rested, set them to active. Could be really, really nice for the whole rush aspect of it. Even just running like 2 of her or something. And she's also a 4k when attacking, so that could be strong. You're going to be getting some generic cards here. 2 generator, 1-cost, bounce back a card to your hand, or you have to return him. Not a bad card, but I don't think he's necessary in this at all because we have really low-cost cards in this, so I wouldn't run him personally. Unless we have good when plays that we could bounce back. This is a pretty generic card, but not a terrible one. 0-cost Winry. When played, you get to give a card on your field 1k till the end of the turn. She also has a draw trigger, 500 BP. I don't know. Not a terrible card. At least she has a trigger, though. And then we've also got a 0-cost Edward. He's just the add to hand so that we can hopefully raid later on, 1500. 0-cost Trisha, we've got their mom here. She's just going to be an active, switch to resting. The generic generates 2, and then at the end of the turn, you're going to have to sideline her, but she can generate 2 for 1 turn, which could be good. But again, no trigger. We're not that desperate for energy. I don't think she's super necessary. And then we've, of course, got their final here, Equivalent Exchange. One of my favorites now in this game for final cards, Equivalent Exchange. That's so clean. Yeah, the restand, you get to basically get an extra action point that turn, or if this is the last trigger in your life. You get to add an extra life if you're lucky. If you're lucky, that happens. Otherwise, it's a no trigger generally. And then the Fullmetal Alchemist special in the set, it's a 4 cost. It's going to be our generic sideline, a 3,000 or less BP on your opponent's front line. But if you have Edward on anywhere on your field, you can choose a 5k instead. Generic, nothing special, but still a very good special card to have, no doubt. Definitely want 4 of those if you don't know. And then we've got a 3-cost Pinako Rockbell. When played, choose up to 1 character on your field. It gains 1k BP till the end of the turn. A pretty good card because she's generating 2 energy, and she's also got that active defensive 3k trigger with so many of these stacked up in your deck, especially if we get a double blocker, but even if we don't, these are going to be great to see in life, popping up consistently, hopefully. 2,500 BP, but yeah, overall, the generation and the effect is not bad for her being a 3 cost, so that's not a bad card to have, especially because, let me just jump to it now, we do have this pretty good-looking field card. In general, I'm not a big fan of field cards or sight cards if you don't need them, because you can't push them up and block with them, unlike normal characters. But regardless, this is not a terrible-looking one. It's a 2-cost sight. The Rockbell House. When played, you get to look at the top 4 cards, reveal up to 1 card with Elric or Rockbell in its name, add it to your hand, place the remaining at the bottom of your deck. It does have the add to hand trigger, so if it ever does pop up in life, you do get it. It could be good as like a 1 or a 2 of for sure. I know people like the Saitama's Apartment in the yellow starter deck, or just in general in the yellow deck, and it basically does this, so it's not a bad card. It's not a bad card. It's a good search. You don't have to trash for the search. It's pretty good. You can grab literally any Elric brother, so that's a good card. But you can also grab a Rockbell if you desire. In the last few cards in the set here, we've got a Maze Hughes, 2-cost active main, switch to resting, choose a character on your field, give it 1k till the end of the turn. I actually really like these cards if you're able to squeeze them in. He's also got a draw trigger, which I feel like a lot of the time they don't have these triggers, these cards that do this. So basically every turn once he's active, you can get a free 1k buff. If you set these up early enough, these could be so nice, especially with this whole rush mentality we're going for with this deck. But yeah, the draw trigger makes it a lot more runnable, 2k BP. And then we've got a 0-cost Riza Hawkeye. She's a 2k BP draw trigger. Pretty good card to have, especially just if you want a few of them. Me personally, I think the best zeros to run in this, just out of the starter deck, would probably be like 4 of Edward, maybe 4 of Winry, and then 3 of this Riza Hawkeye, or maybe like 3 of her, 4 of her. Because yeah, 2k BP with the draw trigger as a 0 could always come in clutch for sure. And then one of the last cards in the starter deck, always, these 2 action points in the starter deck, they always never seem to perform well, but never count them out. Roy Mustang, 4-cost, 2 action point, keep that in mind. When played, you get to choose a character with 3k or less on your opponent's front line and place it in their removal. He doesn't even just sideline them. So with the draw trigger, printed 4k BP, this could be a really, really good card, especially if there is ways to reduce your opponent's card's BPs, and then he can come in and get rid of 4ks essentially, you know. It's just in this game, 3k BPs aren't always the most terrifying, especially spending a whole action point to get rid of him. But again, he is in the starter deck. If you want to run like 2 or 3 of him, could come in clutch. You never know. You never know. And then yeah, that is essentially it for the starter deck. If you are wondering what these non-yellow cards are here, if you don't know, there's a change to the starter decks in Union Arena now. So every starter deck that you buy will contain a little promo pack, and in the promo pack you'll get 1 of each of these cards, a Roy Mustang, a Father, a King Bradley, and a Alex Lewis Armstrong. So sick, so sick. So we'll take a look at these cards here, but yeah, just keep in mind these are starter deck exclusive to these promo packs, so if you want any of these 4 cards that are not yellow, you will have to buy the starter deck. So we'll go ahead and take a look at them real quick. Alex Lewis Armstrong, dude, I love this guy. 4-cost, damage 2, no trigger, but he does have the 4k printed BP, very nice. I mean, listen, the Armstrong deck could go crazy. We've also got a 1-cost Roy Mustang, nullify impact, and then if you have no cards in your hand, he's going to be a 3k, just period, with a draw trigger as well. Going to be interesting to see what kind of deck he plays into. Again, I haven't really looked at any of the Fullmetal Alchemist cards, so yeah, I wonder what this deck's going to be like if you have no cards in your hand, huh? Okay. And then we've got a Father card here. If you don't know, we're going to be getting a whole deck based around the Homunculus, dude. Oh, I'm so excited for this set. 4 costs, 2 action point. If you have 20 or more cards in your sideline, this character gains impact. And then when played, Play up to 1 card with 2 or less required energy, 1 action point, and homunculus affinity from your sideline set to resting on your field. With the printed 4K, the active defensive 3K trigger. Yeah, I assume this is going to be a pretty good card. Playing a body for free, having impact. Yeah, not bad at all. Got to see the decks again to get the full opinion on these, but not a bad looking card. And then the last card that you can get in the starter deck is going to be King Bradley, 3 cost. When played, choose up to 1 character on your field. Again, this character cannot be chosen by your opponent's trigger cards until the end of the turn, or trigger ability, sorry. With a draw trigger, 3K double energy generator. That's a pretty nuts card, dude. Just playing him for the energy generation, and you get to protect one of your attackers from getting like sidelined or sticky rested. Basically just can't be targeted by a trigger once you go into your attack phase. That's pretty nice, dude. And then also just wanted to mention, if you don't know, they did remove the SR alt art, so while you cannot pull alt arts of Edward or Alphonse, you can get 1 alt art of any of the 4 cards we just went over in the starter deck. So yeah, whatever one you're chasing in the starter deck as an alt, hopefully you get him. Definitely personally want an Armstrong alt. I'm sure that's going to be beautiful. But yeah, that is the Fullmetal Alchemist starter deck breakdown. There it is, guys. I can't believe it. It's already here. We're 2 weeks away officially from launch. July 25th is when it officially releases. We're 1 week away from the release event, so make sure you sign up on the TCG Player Plus app. No, Bandai's not paying me, for anyone that's wondering. I'm just trying to spread word about the game, show my love for it all. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate everyone tuning in, especially if you got this far. Let me know if you're going to be playing Full Metal, if you're excited to dive into this set. I know I am. I know it's going to go crazy, especially now that I'm looking at these cards here and just seeing how crazy this set is going to play. Oh, man. And again, the fact that the set in general is only a few months old, it released in April in Japan, I think is going to really stand out for the set. I think it's going to look really, really strong compared to others. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Drop a like if you did, as always. And, yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Fullmetal Alchemist, full set breakdowns coming soon. Keep your eye out. Peace.